Well, I was 19 and needed quick cash. So I took a last-minute babysitting job for a family named the Wilsons. They lived in a big, beautiful two-story house in a quiet suburban cul-de-sac. It was late Friday night and the kids, a 6-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy, were already asleep when I arrived. My job was simple: sit on the couch, watch TV, and make sure the house didn't burn down until 3 a.m. After the Wilsons left, I locked the front door, double-checked the windows downstairs, and settled into the living room. Everything was peaceful, almost boring. Around 1 a.m., I got up to check the thermostat near the kitchen when my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. "Hello?" I whispered, not wanting to wake the children upstairs. A low, heavily distorted voice answered. It wasn't loud, but it sounded wet and labored, like someone talking through a very heavy wool mask. "I see you," the voice said, slow and deliberate. I froze, scanning the dark living room, but saw only my own reflection in the big bay window. "Who is this?" I managed to ask, my heart starting to pound. The voice chuckled, a dry, rasping sound. "The one standing behind the curtains in the master bedroom." My blood ran cold. The master bedroom was upstairs, at the end of the hall. I immediately hung up the phone, my hands shaking violently. I grabbed the cordless landline phone from the kitchen counter and slowly crept towards the stairwell. I knew I needed to check the kids, but I was terrified of going upstairs. As I stood at the bottom of the staircase, the landline phone in my hand rang. It was the same block number. I stared at it, paralyzing fear washing over me. I finally hit the answer button. "Why did you hang up?" the distorted voice asked, sounding annoyed now. "I told you I can see you. You're wearing the blue sweater and holding the phone with the black cord. The landline phone I was holding was cream-colored and had no visible cord. I was also wearing a red hoodie, not a blue sweater." I yelled into the phone, "You've got the wrong house, you creep. I'm calling the police." The voice paused and the rasping chuckle returned, only louder this time. "I didn't say your sweater, honey. I said the sweater. The one hanging on the back of the bedroom door. The one with the hole in the sleeve. And I see the little girl's teddy bear on the floor beside the bed. I'm waiting for the little one to wake up." That detail broke me. The little girl's teddy bear was on the floor next to her bed. I had seen it when checking on them earlier. But the chilling detail was the blue sweater hanging on the door. It belonged to the mother, Mrs. Wilson. It meant the caller was describing things from inside the house. I dropped the phone and ran, bursting out the back door and sprinting across the lawn to the neighbor's house, slamming the emergency button on the alarm panel as I went. The police found the house empty. Nothing was disturbed, and the back door was still locked from the inside. I had panicked and forgotten to unlock it before leaving. The alarm had sounded for 2 minutes. The master bedroom was empty, and the blue sweater was still hanging on the door. But the officer who checked the little girl's room confirmed that the teddy bear was no longer on the floor. It was found sitting on top of her pillow, facing the door. I quit babysitting that night. I still wonder why the voice mentioned the wrong color sweater first. Was it a test? Or was there something in that house that could see the past as well as the present? I was living in an old 4-story apartment building in Chicago, renting the top floor unit. The building was charmingly ancient, but its greatest flaw was the tiny, unusable attic space directly above my ceiling. Access to the attic was through a locked hatch door inside my own coat closet. The super told me it was empty and simply used for ventilation, but it made me uneasy. The strange noises started a week after I moved in. Not big noises, just faint sounds of shifting and quiet scraping, usually between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Since my apartment was directly below the roof, I tried to ignore it, attributing the sounds to raccoons or old pipes, but the sounds became rhythmic. Sometimes it sounded like someone was walking slowly, heel to toe, across the joists above my bedroom. I called the superintendent, who laughed it off and assured me the attic was too cramped for a person to stand up, let alone walk. The real terror began when things started to disappear. First, it was just small items, a specific pen from my desk, or a favorite coffee mug, things I thought I misplaced. Then, it was my mail. I noticed for 3 consecutive days, a specific circular from my mailbox was gone, even though everything else was there. I started securing my attic hatch door with duct tape, covering the edges completely. I told myself if the tape was broken, I'd know something was wrong. Every day the tape was pristine, but the missing items continued. One morning, I couldn't find my digital alarm clock. It was heavy, brightly colored, and I had seen it on my nightstand before going to sleep. I searched everywhere. It was gone. That night, around 3 a.m., I was startled awake by a sound. It wasn't the walking, it was a rhythmic ticking. It was coming from right above my head. I realized it was the clock, my missing clock. I grabbed my phone and my heaviest book. I could hear the faint, steady tick-tock coming from the ceiling directly above my bed. I turned on my flashlight and slowly walked to the coat closet. I looked up at the hatch door. The duct tape was untouched. I got a chair and climbed up. I placed my ear against the painted hatch door. The ticking was right there. I reached out and slowly touched the tape. It was smooth and firm. But as I leaned closer, I noticed something horrifying. Just beside the edge of the duct tape on the white painted ceiling, there was a tiny, freshly drilled pinhole. It was barely the size of a pen tip. I placed my eye against it, shining my phone light through the small hole. The attic was pitch black, but then I saw a sudden, tiny flash of red light, like a recording LED, staring back at me from the darkness. I screamed and fell off the chair. I didn't wait to see what was behind the hole. I grabbed my cat and my keys and ran out of the apartment, calling the police from the street. The police found no one in the attic. They confirmed the hatch lock was secure and the duct tape was intact. But they found my alarm clock. It was inside the attic, lying directly on the joists above my bedroom, with its alarm set to 4 a.m. And right next to it, tucked into the insulation, was a small, high-definition, motion-activated webcam pointed directly down at my bed, powered by a hidden battery pack. I never returned to that apartment. I still don't know who was up there or how they got in without breaking the locks. All I know is that my entire life in that apartment was a private performance for a tenant who never paid rent.